Here is a question that looks like it comes from outside of the US. However, the equipment is the same, we think. I have not had a good experience about 3 months ago when starting up a Mastertemp 400. It's brand new, but it won't run correctly. It had AFS on its screen. I followed the Pentair troubleshooting guide and required to replace the motherboard, high limit switch, and AFS switch. All of those that were required I replaced, but it still can't run normally. Also troubleshooting, asked to change the ICM. This also done, but still can't run normal. Finally, the customer returned the heater. The heater support with Optiflow pump 3/4 horsepower and TA40 sand filter. The spa is 2 meters above the heater. Can you comment on why the Mastertemp 400 did not work properly?
I think there might be something that was overlooked, and this is what comes to mind first, is depending on what it was being replaced from, what was the last heater. Because what I've noticed, as the heaters have become more efficient, and especially as they become electronic ignition heaters versus the traditional heaters of the past, which also is part of the efficiency thing, is the gas pipeline sizing needs to go up. If this was replacing a 400,000 BTU heater that's 10 years old or more, likely the gas line that was installed to run that heater was adequate. In this case, it's smaller. What we've had to do, if you can't redo a gas line, is you have to drop the BTU rating of the heater itself. So if more than likely, without knowing the rest of what's going on, more than likely what I would have done, which I've done quite a few times in the past, is when we've replaced those heaters, we've always stepped the BTU rating down. And the argument would be, you're more efficient, so you're still going to get an adequate amount of heat out of it, but your BTU rating is lower than that last heater. And unless people wanted to spend a lot of money to have that entire gas line replaced, that's what we've done it successfully. And so in this case, if it's a 400, I would have dropped it to a 250. And if that 250 would likely have produced just about as much heat, if not the same amount as that old 400, and you would have gotten away with that gas size line. Because what's happening is that's the flue sensor is the first thing that you had to replace. And what's happening is, because there's so much heat inside there, it's gasping, and it's continually gasping for heat. And what's happening is your components start to overheat and kick on, kick off. So I'm guessing this unit probably ran for a little while and it would shut off. And then maybe it would run for a little while and shut off, and it would consistently either cycle on or off, or it would cycle off and then it would time out and not come back on. So those flue sensors, as things get more complicated, they add layers of work for us on our part. But usually when the gas line was too small, and now you could get an anemometer out there and try to figure all of that out. And that's a whole nother thing to input and output from the gas meters and stuff, to try to figure out if you've got enough gas flow in there. But just off the initial thought there, I'm going to guess that it's the gas line issue and not a heater issue.